Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Let's Play with Stefzor. So last time we just resupplied the ship. What I wanted to do now was go to the ship and see what's up, talk to people, stuff like that. Don't, they don't really have a lot to say. Theodul. Salutes.
Hi, Captain. Truth be told, Ferrante half expect us to get our asses blown out of the water at Fort Deadlight. Fortunately for you, I have this bad habit of beating the odds. Of course, I do that by way of good old traditional chicanery. And the most important part of any hornswoggle? Solid planning. Well, that and surviving.
Fucking.
Valian made originally. Piled them stones up a few centuries back, but gave it up when the fishmen wouldn't leave them be. Hard to defend against wilder crawling up out of your crappers. Captain Aldiz claimed it a few years back. Fucking filthy from bow to stern, and she had her lads and lasses cleaning fish shit out of the floorboards for months. A couple of them thought he might be better sailing elsewhere and left in the night. Aldiz tracked them down quick as you like, took their heads, and fixed them into little lanterns for the front gate. Called them Fort Deadlight's Deadlights. They say she ain't had a deserter since. Tad cruel for my taste. But I admit to admiring the wordplay.
Do you know anything about the fort's defenses?
Funny thing about it being a fort means it ain't a boat. Means it don't have to worry about the weight of cannons are storing honking big balls. Guns they got crowning that castle put a hole in your poop deck before you've sighted land.
Size and scuffs his boot against the
Fort itself be floored of ceiling rum-sodden fools, so that be going for us. But Aldi's keeps the crew on the walls sharp and sober. One blast of their horns and Deadlight's locked up tight as an endearing mugger night. We'll stay that way too, till any unfamiliar ships have been shot to shit and shot again.
What do you know of all this?
She's sharp as shit, that one. Tongue, mind, and ears alike. Sailed out of Deerwood or Adair one. Knows her knots, and how to crew a ship that won't turn sour. The words ring out among the Principe, more than you'd think for new blood.
You're like the big captains of the...
Part of that's a fierce support of freedom, from slavers, from the empires, from the Juana's caste system even. The rest a lenient hand. Step out of line and Ferrante's got your old crew up for lashes. Aldiz, though, she's, let's say there's a reason she attracts limp-cocked nut twists like bandwidth. Can't say I much approve of a lack of regard for our traditions, but, can't say I don't share her vexations with Ferrante and the old garden either.
Runs a third paw over his braided beard. About all this?
The Principe's no fleet. More a mishmash of fiercely independent captains. A lot of them take to one another like sharks to krakens. But we be bound by the slippery slip knots of tradition. Even those bucking tradition cooperate for protection against our enemies. Many of the old guard have died off, though. And the new blood flooding in be, less the civil sort.
You mentioned you have some contacts at the fort. Can we rely on their help?
I did say contacts, didn't I?
Seraphim rubs the back of his head as he takes a sudden studious interest.
Contact would be more accurate, in the singular. A lass by the name of Siri. Been running the same circles for years, doldrums and fair winds. We're never family, but never on the wrong ends of arms neither. Might have shaken the sheets a few months back. Regardless of how she feels about me, there's no love lost betwixt her and Benwith, that's for damn certain.
Contact is a random lover of yours.
Ugh, random? What do you take me for, Captain?
Gird your hearts throughout the death fire.
Well, I can't say as you're entirely wrong.
Green's old. Let's get over the plan to get into Fort Deadlight.
Deadlight's a tough coconut to crack, but if not cracking, what are nuts for?
Let's go for the smart play. Calls for a clever approach.
Smart play for crashing any party involves scavenging yourself up an invite, and then dressing to impress.
Puffs out his chest, thumbs stuck into a fine fabric of the where are you getting at?
Looking the part in this case means hoisting colours identifying us as Principe.
Your twitch.
Don't have to tell you how dangerous such a bit of fabric can be, if the wrong person catches you flying it.
How hard could it be to purchase?
Well, Principe captains don't just give up their flags for a few coins.
Catches his rump, head cocked to one side.
Nekitaka's black market. If there be a Principe flag for sale, it'll be there. Mark it up and relocates every so often to avoid the Royal Guard. We'll just have to find wherever it currently be anchored.
Alright. Have a plan, let's get on with it.
Aye, Captain. Looking forward to watching you work.
Palms together. Okay, let's leave. Okay, have the steward.
My lord, what do you require? I was the steward of your keep at Cad Nua, my lord. Long before your time, I had my soul bound to a throne of Ardraban. And for nearly 200 years, I felt Cad Nua and the comings and goings within it like an extension of myself. It is a strange connection to lose. Still, it would be unseemly for me to complain of loss to you, my lord.
How did I get a ship in the first?
With Cad Nua in ruins, there was little purpose in waxing sentimental over the rubble. I was able to salvage enough of your treasure and wealth to afford the purchase of the Defiant and the hire of a small crew. Unfortunately, that consumed the remainder of your once considerable assets. Under the circumstances, I hoped you would not object.
What do I do next?
I suggest we proceed to Nekitaka, my lord. It is the largest city in Deadfire, and we shall be better able to get our bearings there.
Easy.
Offer. Stefzor. Many summers now since arriving Gilvale. Much has changed in those years, where I'll never forget the kindness you showed. Gods have blessed me with a son. He's strong and always so curious. All Gilvale dotes upon him. I've told him of you. He asks constantly after the watch of restored spirit and hopes one day to meet you. Till then, know that we keep you in our prayer. Your most grateful servant, Afra. So Afra was the sister of one of the first companions that you meet when you start the first game, and she dies. So
I'm here. I'm on it.
you're the one who goes to her pregnant sister and helps her out with
I'll
some
see to it.
stuff. Ooh, Fate of the Endless Pass. We'll make that into Whispers of Yenwood. Nice.
Something with a little more
Can you
stabbing.
forge the old ones? Jyoti.
With every soul, my lantern's getting heavier and heavier in my hand.
How are you feeling? Have you suffered any nightmares?
They're there in my head when I sleep. And sometimes I can taste them on the back of my tongue like a smear of grit. Happens when I take in a particularly volatile soul.
Don't worry, we'll figure something.
Will we? Ought we? I just don't know.
Who ever knows with dirty fingers so size?
I trust you, Watcher. I swear I do. I worry sometimes about what's gonna happen to me. But, well, it's not like I can turn my back on my duty to my god, even if it kills me. Tell me what's on your mind. You need me, I'll be two whoops and a holler away.
Hey, Brenna, how's your leg? Old drunken guy.
What's gnawing you?
Talk to Aloth.
Thank you again for maintaining my story in front of Vanessa and the others.
Gives you a grateful smile that fades almost as quickly as it appears.
I didn't enjoy deceiving them, but it seemed simpler than the alternative.
But Julie runs her tongue over it. Are you still thinking about Vanessa?
Believe me, I take no pleasure in duplicity.
Exactly what you're doing out there?
At your suggestion, I took up Theos's mantle after we parted company. I wanted to use the Leaden Key to improve the lives of Kith. So for 5 years, I've been tracking down Leaden Key circles, searching for the places where they operate in secret.
Browser nibbles on her lips to hide a spreading smile.
Hoping they can be reformed.
Maybe just start with something small, like overhauling those masks.
Theos had many lifetimes in which to build up the Leaden Key. I'm beginning to appreciate that advantage.
Pauses, the mirth draining from it.
The task has been more difficult than I anticipated. I don't think I fully understood the weight of the decisions I would have to make. Or the burden of living with them. It was much easier when I only had to follow someone else's lead. My father's, Theos's, yours.
You Sure, led you right into the prison of the gods.
I know, and I have.
This is a familiar society working over here.
After we defeated Theos, I thought the hard part of changing the Leaden Key would be tracking down its members and operations.
I thought you'd be pulling off that headdress.
Perhaps this would be easier with an example. I went to a village in Old Valia, a run-down backwater of a place. Aye, right home like it was.
Charlotte's expression shifts as Selmir briefly emerges. Yeah, he has a double personality, basically. He has two souls living in one.
Centuries ago, the Leaden Key had intervened to end some heretical cult. The details were lost, but what had endured was a practice of ritual bloodletting. A gruesome, pointless tradition. At every full moon, the villagers would feed the soil with their blood. No one, young or old, sick or hale, was exempt.
Have some purpose in.
Yes, but the specifics depended on whom you asked. Some thought it would ward off Scan, or bring Berth's favor on the village, or Gon's blessing to their crops. I thought new leadership might guide them away from this practice. So I adjusted some of the deeds pertaining to the ownership of their land.
I look. Kirk to Jody wrongs her tongue over.
It just so happened that a nearby Contessa, a rather prosperous one, had a claim on the village, and the fertile fields around it. I thought so, at first. The Comtessa annexed the village, as I'd planned. But she did nothing about the bloodletting ritual. And while it continued, she taxed the villagers to pay for the plantation she was building. And conscripted half of them to defend it.
Edge of his sash into a side knot between the rigid. Now you feel responsible.
I had to do something, didn't I?
Still with wide, anguished eyes, he pauses again, sash at his lap.
I keep wondering what I might have done differently, or how I could have known better.
Learning from mistakes like these.
I suppose so. I should get some rest. It's been a long day, and you've given me a lot to think about.
You still haven't told me what the Animus is.
Ah, that.
Touches his temples.
I'm looking for an old Leaden Key sect. I've found several references, but
Breaks off shakings.
I want to be sure. Please, let me go over my notes again. Then I promise I'll tell you everything.
About your notes, second guessing your.
You know me too well. All the same, I need to gather my thoughts.
Right, we'll talk later then. Yes, that is it for the ships. Where we're steering off to now. I could have switched to the map arrows. Here how this. Yeah, so I guess this is Ah, so the light is here. Merchant. Explore a bit. Ah, okay, we have a fast mode even with both. That's good. Show me what you have for trade. Rolls. Files. Shipwreck. No. The Grand Old Galleon sits just off the shore, listening so hard to the side. Its top deck stand nearly vertical. The main mast has been snapped clean in half as if by the hand of an angry beast. This is the wreckage. Take some time to explore. Hours passed. Find tethered old flag. Right, searching. Full of rations. Right. Like the I don't want to fight pirates. Not yet though. I do. Clouds gather in the distance, a hazy curtain of rain hanging from them. Elding Rim's eyes the storm and spits. I wish this ship had a boatswain. There's no better to have with you in a storm. Your crew looks to you. Your orders? Assign crew duties. Right. Beodul, take this and lash yourself to the wheel. I don't want you going overboard. The grimace Beodul accepts the rope and begins looping into the spokes of the wheel in his own belt. Lost an item rope. Okay. Hand out the last of the cooked food, Irena, and then put out any fires in the galley. Irena salutes. Understood, Captain. The crew will be glad to have a warm meal before we dive in this mess. Well, assign deckhand duties. Okay. Everyone into rigging. We need to reef the sails. Do us into rigging, pulling lines and tying off the sails, diminishing the amount of fabric facing the wind before returning to the deck. That's enough for now. Assign companion duties. The crew could use a sermon. Jody, if you're inclined to give them one. Do you want me to pray to an aspect of death? Jody's lips quirk in amusement. Suppose I can plead for the safe passage of soul through hell. Should we pray shortly? After another, she bows her head. Glory be to the many aspects of Eoth, as great as the whole who is gone. I raise my voice to you in humility, thankfulness, and everlasting worship. Hear me, my God, and take pity on my dire plea. As we now sail through the dark storms of death, we will not fear the reaping to come, for your lantern will guide our way. We will not stumble or stray from the path you have laid us through hell. We will embrace the end of our lives and shuck the rotting husk of our falling bodies. After whence we will be planted for rebirth by your hand. Forever and always the wheel turns. Amen. Thank you, that's enough for now. We're prepared, let's go. The clouds sweep over you, dominating the sky and hemming the sea beneath a rolling grey dome. The rain drowns against the deck. Sweat beads on Beodul's brow as the storm looms over her close. We can't outrun this one, Captain. The wind calms, but rain pours from the sky as if the Defiant had come to rest beneath a waterfall. Rainwater sloshes around the deck and under the rails. Get everyone below deck and beaten the hatches. No, no need to go. Rain, it's just raining, but the storm calms, so all hands to their post for holding course. As in close turn against the rain, the crew guide the Defiant through the unending downpour. Storm ranges on, showing no signs of subsiding. One day past, the wind calms, but rain pours from the sky as if at the... Okay, it's the same message. There's no wind, so no point in flying bear poles. Or... Actually, it does make sense. So we're flying bear poles, let's go. Damn. Rowed by the wind against its turning mass, the Defiant broads roughly around across the waves. Below decks, the secure cargo prevents stores from endangering the already roughly handled crew. The sea runs thick across the decks, pouring through the hatches and ports alike. One day past, water sloshes about the hold, already knee-deep. The Defiant is taking on water. And to the pumps, get the water out of here. The hands pump the water up, keeping pace with the water coming in. By the end of the day, Ramdan Brigade is soaked entirely through and through, cradling an arm. Damn. This exhaust is the clouds finally calm, coming to rest like a thick blanket across the sky. The waves too, and their trembling complete. The Defiant finally sails easily. The crew lean against the rails and rigging, their faces haggard in relief. The storm, it seems, has passed. Okay, so got some sailor experience. What exactly, but... Should I go explore? But I'll just set sail for Nekataka, I think. No. Ah, crap. Okay. P2 points to a dark spot in the distant horizon. Captain, a vessel approaches. You into the horizon and see unfamiliar colors shaping in. Ship draws near and screw throws open the gun ports. Give no quarter. Close to board. Yeah, give no quarter. Charge. The crew mutters nervously gives the order to charge. The Defiant will be exposed to breaking fire and risk of casualties. Second thought, advance. The crew of the Felsman springs into action, racing for their stations. Enemy vessel jives through the wind, reversing course. Is the course of action. So they're running away, right? Half sail. Is closed. The enemy crew scurried to the station in preparation for maneuvers. Drops stopped. They lost the wind. Okay, then charge them, I guess. Distance closed. The enemy scurried to the station in preparation for maneuvers. They execute smooth turn and bring his broadside to Anu. The distance under cannon fires echoes across the sea. Misses. Okay. I don't know what the jibe is. Oh, so this is the distance that I have. So what can I do? Full speed ahead. Ship sails right and fire loose on their masts. The ship comes to a stop. Move towards them. The enemy crew scurry to their station in preparation. Smooth turn brings his broadside. Fires. Hits. I receive some damage. Okay. Let's... Yeah, I don't know how to do this. I cannot imagine the battle. I turn to port or... Wait, let's advance some more. Tank's empty as okay, the wind has died. Get even closer. The Defiant leaps forward. The Defiant secures the wind gauge before the fielding has the chance to come about and claim it for themselves. Okay, so now we got bigger speed, full speed ahead. Shouts of the enemy ship bowstring over the sound of the water, ordering the crew to their stations. Sailors climb the rigging like spiders and let loose the sails. We were almost there. Lose the full force of the wind at his back. Ramming speed! Battling down the back of the waves and surging up the face. Sea spray drenches the main deck. With a deafening crunch, the Defiance and the Bentley collide, sending shards of wood and enemy sailors flying. 8 hull damage, 8 damage. With a rousing cry, your crew throw grappling hooks and boarding planks across the gap between the two ships. They stream onto the ship's deck, weapons at the ready. The stunned enemy crew rallies and meet your sailors with their sounding boom of gunfire and clang of sting on steel. But now I guess we're fighting. Alright, so I'm gonna need it there and Jody to go here. I will need you to fireball them to the face. You have a... Yeah, I just switched to... Okay. Ouch, ouch. Are these guys higher level or something? So they just charge the shit out of me there. Okay, that guy can tank there. And there is tanking this, I'm dead, I'm down. So Aloth just threw the fireball and I killed my guy. Yeah, you know what? Let's not explore. So I guess it was one. I think it was this. I'll just head directly for the port and yeah, I'm guessing those are easier areas or something. Do I have the quest for Lantern of Jody there? Wait for Olaf. Okay, so I do have it. Then let's head towards Taka. Wait. Stuff on this island. No! First ship. You're sailing past the reef when Irena shouts out, pointing to where there's a list of ships stranded in the middle, parts on a narrow shoal. It tips and rolls with the passing waves, hanging from a blue flag, image of a crescent moon sinking beneath the waves. You could gather time with low, excited voices. Theodore rushes up to the railing. Captain, that's a gift-bearer ship. No telling what sorts of treasure he's got. From Dumber Gears North. Gift-bearers carry sentimental junk, worthless stuff. No, that's a smuggler ship. It's a classic disguise. Tupac speaks into the water. Then it's a fucking stupid one. Gift-bearers only visit landlocked settlements. This is a trap. What was that about the gift-bearers, Random Gear? Fixes a pensive frown from the wreck. No offense, Captain, but the servants of Ondra collect things people want for getting and send them to the sea. Anything gift-bearers might be carrying would be stuff nobody wants. Thoughts? Ain't a trap, Captain. Should be too small for shit to to shit for that. Might be too smashed to shit for salvage too. Seraphim crashes the back of his head as he peers to the vessel. Okay, let's... I don't have a spyglass. Damn. Prepare a skiff. You row the skiff above the reefs, the waves tossing at the bottom of the small boat, occasionally scraping against the jagged structure below. You try off on a stag of coral next to the wreck. The water is rough and the hull slick with brine, but you're able to find perches between the shifting planks. Climb up. Pull yourself up using bent planks and barnacles for holds. You almost reach the main deck when a wave slams against the ship. You hear a crash to somewhere below as the vessel rocks. Your legs slip from under you and your fingers dip into wet lumber. Your grip holds. Once the ship settles, you resume climb and make it to the safety of the deck. The ship is deserted. You don't even find corpses. If the ship has a skiff, it's missing too. Search for salvage. Find some jewelry, some stuff. Munition, medicine. Right. Let's search for if this is smuggling. So... right there. The deer glances around before sliding a crate of junk aside and finding a trapdoor underneath. Within it rests a small chest bleaming with gold and ceilings. Nice. Money. The whistles. Ooh, smugglers after all. Among the ruin rests a small figurine of a nymph of all things. Ah, it's a summon. Nice. Summons are really good in this game, I think. 2 earned experience. Nice. Let's quick save.
The ring of a bell comes to you on a cold wind. The ring comes again and again, until soon the air is full with the sound of 1,000 bells ringing all at once. You feel a resonance in your core, a bell ringing in tune with all the others. Something in you bends, then breaks, and you are borne away on the ringing tide, just another peal among the many. The tide of bells recedes. You lever yourself up onto your knees and realize you have been here before. You stand in Bareth's realm. You are alone. And then you are not.
God's sake.
An indistinct figure stands before you, flickering between forms like a fire-cast shadow. A fixed, taunting grin. Bottomless black eyes. A yawning chasm in the earth. The aspects of Bareth, the Usher and the Pallid Knight, shift in and out of focus. And at their back, 4 indistinct shades hover. You feel an eternity stretch out behind each of them, reaching back to places so distant and yet so near you cannot comprehend their size. The shifting image of Bareth settles on the aspect of the Pallid Knight.
Watcher.
She intones. Her voice is the discordant clangor of gongs struck out of time.
I tasked you to discover Aethys's intentions. Tell me what you have learned.
He's raining souls from the base of them.
The Pallid Knight knits her brows.
He does not seek to return to the beyond? Intriguing.
Her sickly pale skin pulls tight across the bones of her face, as if the shell of this aspect does not quite fit the impossible creature it contains. The figure nearest Bareth dissolves and reforms in the image of a thin-lipped, ancient crone, whose face has felt the melting kiss of fire. The goddess Wodica strides forward.
Okay, this was the bad guy goddess from the previous game.
Does Aethys frighten you, Bareth? He should. Margron subdued Aethys's influence once before, and yet he returned.
From out of Wodica's shadow shuffles a hunched, bald man you recognize as the god Scan. His skin is mapped with swollen lash scars, and breath whistles through the ragged hole in his face where his nose once was. He does not speak, but stares up at Wodika, with naked loathing plain on his ruined face. Wodika steeples her long, knob-jointed fingers.
We must annihilate Aethys now, before he makes a rash decision we cannot easily annul.
Casts a sly look at the petty knife from the corner of her eyes.
A moon would do the job nicely.
Wodika says, and grins.
Given her relationship with the moon, I doubt Ondra would approve.
Wodika throws her head back and laughs. The sound is a dry, rasping bark.
Andra could do with a new act. Her current one has grown rather stale.
Where are the other gods?
They see to their own affairs. You will speak to them in time, should you have the need.
The figure beside the aspect of Berith flows forward in a swirling cloud of ash. The ash falls to the tiles and reveals a molten-skinned woman, leaning on a monstrous, wicked-edged broadsword.
Magram.
Magran's glowing lips curl in disdain.
We must find a solution to the problem of Aethys that is neither do nothing, nor destroy the world. I acted in haste during the Saints' War. You will not goad me into doing the same now. To move against him while his plans are unknown would be the height of foolishness. We must find wisdom in precaution.
Magran says.
What kind of precautions did
Magran looks at you as one might a wayward gob of spit on one's shoe.
It is no business of yours what the gods decide.
Another of the silent figures steps forward,
gone, I guess.
and the warm, golden light of a summer's afternoon spills across your face.
Let's all take a deep, calming breath. Perhaps cooler heads will prevail.
Behind Helia's words, you hear the soft coo of doves.
Aethys has been separated from us for too long. Isn't it possible he intends only to gather enough souls to reclaim his realm in the beyond? He should be welcomed.
You look up then into avian eyes. Through them, you see clouds of starlings converge and divide.
What if he intends to betray?
Helia puts a feathered hand to her chest.
He wouldn't. Betrayal is not in his nature.
Scan shuffles forward.
Yes, yes. We should welcome Aethys' return to the fold. His gratitude we can leverage to cajole him into divulging his plot. Then, when he believes himself to be in our good graces, we do as Wodika suggests, and crush him into the earth.
Scan licks the ragged edge of his lipless mouth and grins, then turns to Helia.
I did not expect such a deliciously ruthless idea from you, Helia. I am impressed.
Helia's feathered crest stands on end.
You wretched little creature.
Attempting to end with this may only make things worse.
Your point is well made, little watcher. If self-evident, Aethys has not been known to possess a vindictive nature. Indeed, he has occasionally been magnanimous to a fault. However, if we push him to the brink of reason, there is no telling what he may do. He is, as ever, unpredictable.
Something akin to fondness creeps into her voice.
Then what's the point of this?
The pallid knight gestures for silence.
Aethys cannot be killed, but he may be subdued. Yet to do so will take immense power and time. Both stand in his favor.
Magran grits her black glass teeth.
That is why we must ascertain his plans before he has the chance to put them into motion.
She begins to pace. Her steps leave little trails of fire in her wake. Magran stops and balls her hands into flaming fists.
Even if we manage to destroy his current form, there is the possibility he could return, if he has not already absorbed all of his children.
Children, I don't know.
The pallid knight casts a cold, cutting glare in Magran's direction.
Magran speaks too freely. That knowledge is beyond your ken, Watcher.
Worika waves the gods to silence.
Aethys gathers strength. His strength is a threat to us.
Her voice takes on a sharp, almost panicked edge.
There is no sensible answer to the question of a resurgent Aethys other than decisive, final action.
No cost to act now. Yeah, I'm gonna try keeping Eothas alive and not provoke these assholes because I don't really like any of them. And Eothas might actually be a good guy, so yeah, there's no cost to act now.
Your opinion is unasked for, but noted.
The Pallid Knight says.
We will act when it is appropriate to do so, and not before.
I get the chance to kill them all.
The Pallid Knight steps away from the half-circle of assembled gods. She pulls herself up to a great height. The words she speaks next come not from her mouth, but from all around you.
Follow him, Watcher.
The black of the Pallid Knight's irises expand until her eyes are as dark and cold as the void between stars. She bends down and brings her ghostly face level with your own.
Your debt to me remains unpaid.
I only do this because I must. I don't give.
She stares at you, unblinking. Like a needle drawn to a magnet, you are pulled toward her one compulsory step at a time. Helpless to resist, you tumble into her impossible eyes. You fall wildly, endlessly, unable to find your bearings or slow your spin. And in the distance, above, no, behind you, comes an insistent ringing. You angle yourself toward it, searching for the sound. A small silver bell appears just inches from your fingertips. You reach for it, straining to still its interminable ringing. The moment you touch it, your soul slams into your body with all the force of a fall from the top of the sky. You blink open your eyes and find yourself on the floor of your ship's cabin, alone.
Gods. Alright, guys, already this video has gone on long enough, so I'll just end it here for now. Thank you guys for watching and see you in the next one.